All right. Are there any other alibis before we proceed? Okay.
Yes, Mr. Moderator.
Yes, ma'am.
I know 2020 was a difficult year for the BACDA family, let me say, in the USA. Dallas failed to add to the loss that they had. A son that, a child of theirs that died suddenly here in Dallas in the name of Camila Christian Ahmed, which you flew from Dallas, from Washington to Dallas. That was around the time COVID was very imminent. I need to get this. I know my son is not available, and my daughter-in-law is not in the mood of talking about it. I want to use this forum to thank the outpour of support that they received when Camille Christian Ahmed passed away. Also, I know I'm no more a member of the Washington chapter, but for a few of you that got in touch with me in November when I lost my mother too, and I went to Cameroon to bury her, I wish to thank you guys on this medium. I know I should have, few people I sent text messages, but I want to use this medium to thank all of you for the support that you've given the Akwensiobe family, particularly. I'm not going to say the Johnny Bongole family because I'm the matriarch of the Akwensiobe family. I saw what you guys did for my son and the wife, and I saw what you guys did for me also. I ask God to continue blessing this enormous group of men and women of the Bakosi land and their wives who are out of the Bakosi land. That may the Lord continue to bless us and make us united more than we've ever been before. Come 2022, when we head to Delaware, I'll make it my own mission to pray the unity among this group. Let us love each other unconditionally. Let us not harbor vengeance or grievances. It's not good for the soul. I know this is not the right time for me to say this, but when Theo said alibis, you know, I never lack anything to say. I needed to add that in there. Martin is at work, and I'm here at the point. I want to thank you guys all for the support that you always give each and every one of you when a situation happens. Washington, D.C., there have been people who have been in near-death accidents too. I know the vice president of Washington, D.C. had a fatal accident. Let's give God thanks that her life was spared. And most of the other people who have been into accidents, I know, I don't want to call them all out here. Let's give God thanks and glory that nothing happened to them. That's all I wanted to add. Thank you for giving me the floor.
Oh, Mr. Moderator, if I
You're
could just
welcome.
ask, hello, Mr. Moderator, if you could give me a second to just say something. I think that's a lot of information that came up from the Dallas chapter that was omitted. And I take the blame for not doing that. And I think it's an oversight on my part. And that's because when we had the town hall meeting in October, a lot of this information that came up had already been shared. So for some reason, I was looking at most recent things that had happened in our chapter, and that's how that some of those things missed my train of thought. So I do apologize to everybody who had something and who was affected. And that I forgot to mention these things. It was not expressly done. It's just something that escaped my mind at the moment because of that time frame. I mean, 1 year looks like it's 2 years. I mean, COVID, so many things happened during that period, and so it was very easy to forget some of those things because it felt like it happened a long time ago. So I'm sorry, and I apologize to my members who felt like they were omitted or were not thought of. I really did think about you all, and BACDA records also do show that some of this information that's shared today has already been shared too with the association. Thank you. God bless.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am. Yeah, I don't think anybody thought it was intentional, so it's okay. It's understood. And for all the heartaches and the challenges that we have gone through and continue to go through, we thank God for the strength to be able to live with just the memories of all the difficulties and the challenges that we've gone through individually and as a family. So thanks for all your continued support, and thanks for everything we do to be able to stay united and stay strong as one Bakosi. All right. Let me go to, I don't know if we've touched on, we said alibis, that's from all the different chapters, and we had several contributions. So we also have brothers and sisters who are at large, who don't belong to any party, family group. And okay, I see your hand now. So let me just finish with brothers and sisters who are at large. And I don't know if the president or if the members are available, if they have any contributions that they want to make, please just go ahead and state that. So we'll use the next couple of minutes to go through our large family members. Do we have anyone online? I said I'll come to you, Culture, once I take out our large members first, unless you have some large members you want to. Any? Okay. Yes, proceed, sir, Mr. Ajang.
Oh, okay. Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I know it's quite a long list and it's difficult to even follow up with the hands raised up. So I just want to, also announce the death of my, our dad, me and Crispo Ajang. We lost our dad and we went back home, and we want to thank BACDA, USA as in general for the enormous support that every one of you, rendered to us during that period of time. I just want to call his name so that the Benjamin should know that his name is in record too for the first virtual convention of 2021. So, and again, I know, Mr. Moderator, you did lose your niece as well, that you traveled to Cameroon. So that's just another point. So again, thank you for that time.
Okay. Yes, thank you, sir, for that. Yes, well, you brought up the information. My younger brother, Kevin, lost his first daughter, 10 years old. So she died. I went to Cameroon in March. So again, thanks for all those who, as always, stand and support and provide encouragement to all of us. So thank you for bringing that up. Let's see. Your hand is still up. Any other? Did Madame have something that she needed to bring forth, or?
Oh no, sorry. Let me raise it down.
Okay, thank you. All right, I see. Is that Ba Jung has his hand up? So we'll use the next 3 minutes to cover alibis, and then at 15:15 we'll move on to the next items. Yes, sir.
Yeah. This Jerry.
Okay, Jerry, it wore red outfit. When we done with Pajama, they come. Sorry about that.
Brochan, no?
No, Mati. Yes, please.
Okay.
Proceed. Sorry about that.
Okay, thank you. Again, I just want to thank all of us still surviving despite the coronavirus. And I pray that the unity that we have, whether we're meeting in person or in through Zoom like this, is a lot more very important. With everything here, we're doing fine. Myself and my wife, as the only known Bakosi children in Arizona, that adrenaline is still pumping. I can't wait for us to meet again.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you.
we say, I know it's hot out there in Arizona.
It's boiling. It's boiling hot, but it's okay. We're surviving.
Yes, sir. Indeed.
Yeah.
You know, your Bakosi sons and daughters, you always survive.
Yeah,
And,
we survive everywhere.
Thanks for all you do to advance a cause fight. Thank you.
It's our duty. We owe that to not ourselves, but to our generation, our brothers and sisters who are back home, our parents. We owe that. There is no question. Nobody teaches you how to cry your mother or your father. It comes from your heart.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
Yeah.
Yes. All right. So before we move on to the next item, that will be discussing the excuse me. I don't know if the vice president, okay, is Pat Jackson still up? Okay, please proceed. We have 1 more minute.
Abanyang, as a financial secretary number 2, Madam Mbolanan ma Mkwendo Tulche Sang and where and the Washington chapter did a wonderful job and helped me bury my father with dignities. And I will appreciate Auntie Vero, who called me to tell me the problem she had and that I should be careful about the same problem. Now, the second thing is, we have to contribute to our chapters in case of Notul. We have to do that because we took an oath to be members of our chapters. So, we should be able to do what we have to do. I will tell you that I congratulate my Washington chapter for last year's Notul 10, 90% people paid. This year is 6, about 35 or 40% have paid. But we are still going on. Soon, we should go ahead and do what we have to do where we are committed. In China, and China, BACDA, Washington particularly.
All right. Thank you for that reminder. And also just, tweeting us on our other responsibilities as well. So I set the time for us to move forward at 3:15. So we're at 3:16 right now. I'll come back once everything is done and I'll open the floor up for any items that need to be added. Let's just try to manage this time properly, please. All right. So I see you, my lady. I'll come back to you when we get into an aspect for open forum. But let's knock out some of these issues first, please.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. So right now we need to get just a quick, I know the president touched on this, so it shouldn't take too much time, on the Tombel and Bangam hospital projects for updates and other items like that. But I don't know if the vice president is on, Mr. Ajebe. Can you hear me or no?
Yes, I am. Once again, everybody accept greetings from this end. We're really happy to see all of you again after almost 2 years. The visual convention is first of its kind, but we thank God for all those who put in effort to put this together. And I'm so happy to have you all on board. I just have a short message for other members who are still lacking behind. We are all fighting for a just cause. So I'm just praying and begging on all those other members who are still lagging behind, be it in terms of their physical attendance, financial support, that they should step up. They should step up. We are all struggling to change lives in a cause. No one here is trying to benefit more than another person. It's all for the good of a cause. So please, please, all these projects that we're carrying on back home, whether we have a physical attendance in a convention or not, please still send in your contributions. It's still going to go a long way to change lives in a cause. Again, thank you for giving me the opportunity to say a word, and I hope our deliberations go smoothly. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Vice President, and thanks for that reminder, which leads us into the next item. When we talked about the Bangam and Tombe project for the contributions that people are putting forth, this go a long way. I don't know if you guys have seen the pictures that have been posted on our national forum on the state of the hospital, especially the one in Bangam. We saw the one in Tombel and the efforts that was spearheaded by women to start making some significant changes to that hospital. And the same thing with Bangam. You know, there were a whole bunch of us who are here whose umbilical cords were cut in that hospital. So the ties and the linkage, you know, yes, I know we might not be able to go to that hospital now, but there are people who benefit significantly from just bare functionality of the hospital itself. Simple, items, nothing, even water doesn't even flow properly in the hospitals. How can you have a hospital functioning where there's no water? You know, just think about that for a second. So we just call on you, whatever it is that you can give, whatever it is that you can come up with. All of us, our efforts united will actually go a long way in making significant improvements to that hospital and benefiting our people who that's their primary source of medical care. So I don't know if the president has a word or two to add pertaining to the Bangam and Tombel hospital projects. I'll open the floor up for the president, and then from that point on, we'll move on to the next item on the list.
All right. Thank you once again to allow me, you know, talk about the Tombel and the Bangam hospital projects. Like I said, we worked on the Tombel project, and thanks to Chief Jerimbong, a lot was accomplished. With the meager money we allocated, I already listed out the items that we accomplished. They are there on the paper, but we still have to do more. We still can do more because the hospital is lacking so many things, so many. Chief Jerimbong, who visited the hospital, can, you know, tell us in details, but we can't solve everything because we don't have like an infinite, you know, resources or means. But like I said, if we put our resources together, like you said earlier too, we can do a lot for our people. I want to again thank Dr. Constance Sinime, who was able to, you know, galvanize women here to do things. I think there was a group, whether they called themselves Tombel diaspora in Europe, they were able to do it. So they are taking the examples after us because they look onto us as the light, as the light. Right now, I mentioned one man in Mutengene, Mr. Ekome Samen, who intervened, and a container will be shipped. Ekome, that's the name I got. I don't know whether Ekole, but in a meeting, sorry?
Ekome.
Yes, and they are saying that when the items are too much, some of them will be distributed to other health facilities. I mentioned the case of Mr. Nokwe Prosper, whose container had already reached Bangam. So they got so many stuff. A lot was sent to Tombel. A lot was sent to, you know, the health centers around, because we are all struggling to make Ikosa a better place. So when this item reach, they know how they can redistribute so that the different, you know, health centers can have them. Now, when it comes to the Bangam Hospital, like I said, a lot more still has to be done. What has been done so far, we allocated money, I think $5,000 to rehabilitate the building that will host the equipment, because the plan is to buy heavy equipment. And this endeavor is not just BACDA USA, it is a global endeavor. But because we, BACDA USA, are reputed for development back home, in fact, they declined from formally partnering with other associations, and they chose us. And we had to end this in line. That's why when they talked about it, we just said, hey, it's like something we were looking for an opportunity to get into. And so, brothers and sisters, parents, we are just begging. We know certain chapters have already, complied. Here, I will again thank the DC chapter, the Houston chapter, and Dallas. Dallas has already talked of their own package. I'm calling on other chapters, please, to follow the same. Members, a lot of members are paid, but some other members can still donate. So I think with these, we can open the floor for the fundraising to see how much we can raise, to see, because the ultimate goal for us back then now is to see how we can raise money to buy, they talked of a full blood count machine. And I think they were giving a price quote of about between $13,000 and $15,000. We are fortunate here that we have one of our members, Mrs. Evelyn Epierre, who is one of the coordinators, the global coordinators. We also have Mr. Joe Kale, who can also give us some insight into, these projects, so that we know, and from there, maybe we can, dip our hands deeper in our pockets to help, this project to be very, very successful. So, Mr. Moderator, I think we can go ahead, since we're fighting with time, to launch, the fundraising and see what extra will come out of.
Okay. Yes, as the president stated. So before I go into this, the fundraising aspect, all those who have their Lydia, and I'm tracking you, I'm tracking Prof. So I'll get to you guys in a minute. For the fundraisers, those things are ongoing. So we already know in the forum, the national sector, actually, you can send money to the national sector, or even if you want, you can contact the president, the vice president, or any member of the executive if you wanted to send money towards any of these projects at any time. So right now, while we're at this convention, we'll go ahead and officially launch. So I don't know if anybody has any, because the president mentioned Miss Evelyn Pierre and and Mr. Joe Calais. So do you guys have any additional contributions you want to make towards this to get our people now motivated to start pushing forward? Because I know fundraisers usually take a lot of time. So what we'll do is we'll make sure this will be ongoing. It's not just something we're starting and stopping. It's ongoing. So we'll start here today to see what we can come up with while we're all gathered in this forum. And then we'll continue with the efforts in the background to make sure we can raise enough money to be able to purchase this really vital equipment that's needed at the hospital. So
yeah, can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Dr. Pierre, sorry, Mr. President, I feel like I'm being put on the spot. I didn't think I was going to be able to have to say something about that project, and so I do apologize. Unfortunately, I have not been able to attend the last few meetings because I was moving house and all that, so things were very tight. So I've not been able to attend the last couple of meetings. And so I will not be the one person that would have like the most up-to-date update on the BACDA project. But that being said, I think that from what I can say, I know that Nokwe in Germany had sent a container to Cameroon of equipment, hospital equipment, hospital beds, and some other stuff. And that container, I believe, had been cleared. And there's a lot of financial support coming from various groups, just like my president just insinuated. We are also sending financial support for that project. And so I know Canada sends support, and a lot of Bakosi, some of them just individuals are supporting the project. Lots of pledges, some of them still pending. But overall, there's a lot of support for this project because it's something that, you know, everybody that hears about it feels like, you know, there's something, if there's something they can do, they want to do. So I know the project is ongoing, and there's mobilization of the local indigents. I know the Okada boys mobilized to provide manpower as their own support for the project. So they may not have financial support, but at least they provided manpower for breaking the floors and stuff like that. So I've been kind of following up, but like I said, as far as a real up-to-date information on where we are, I do not have. So I apologize for that. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. We just needed you to, you know, with your expertise and knowledge on what's ongoing. So the information you provided it's really valid for all of us to use as we move forward in trying to, you know.
And we're still pleading for support from each and every one of us, Ekose, sons and daughters. So you may not come from Bangem, but that does not mean you cannot support a project, a Bangem project. I am not from Bangem, but I live in Bangem. My mother lives in Bangem. So that makes me a Bangem child. So, but at the end of the day, you know, it's about humanity, and charity begins from home. So if we're able to go to other organizations and do fundraisers and help other people's projects, we can begin with helping our own folks. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And as you guys know, hospitals are usually the staple in almost every community. So if you have a hospital that's non-functional, it means that entire community is non-functional. You know, so I know a lot of people have contributed. The lists have been posted on the forums, and the contribution is ongoing. So even though you might have given something before, we ask, please, if you can spare, if it's $10, $20, $100, you know, please go ahead and push forward with that effort. You know, so what I'll do is, for us, I know we've given some donations to this already, but we'll actually send an additional sum of $200 towards this effort. So that's what you know, my family, my wife and I are putting forth to at least help, or to do additional additions to the contributions that we've given already. Yeah, so let's see. And I see, all right. Brother Jerry, I'll come to you, but let me go to my Lydia, who has had her hand up for a while, then I'll go to Prof and then come to you. So my Lydia, the floor is yours. My Lydia, are you on? I can't see her. Let me see. Okay.
Mute myself.
Yes.
Okay, as my president said, in spite of the devastating corona in 2020, Houston has carried on its activities normally. And maybe out of his modesty, he chose not to mention the support Houston has been giving to its members who were bereaved. I put on my hand because I happen to be one of those members who lost a dear one. I did lose my stepfather in Cameroon, Tatos Misapengune, in May. Papa passed away at a good ripe old age of 95, and his passing was more or less a celebration. So my Houston brothers and sisters came to celebrate with me. I was very grateful for coming. And they did that to all the others who lost dear ones, even in 2020 and early this year. So that's what I wanted to say.
Okay, thank you for that addition. Let's see. Okay. Prof, I'll come to